and archiving since already 2007, and you have a special focus on modernism, modern architectural heritage, and contemporary art and architectural discourse in Indonesia, also in Southeast Asia, affiliated with Modern Asian Architecture Network and recently with the Messena project. You're also co-founder, member of the board of curators, currently the director of Indonesian Architecture Museum Foundation. You should check it, Collegetour.org. Maybe we can put it in the chat, which is the first and only repository dedicated for architecture archiving in Indonesia. That's a very long introduction, but a really good one. Welcome.
Thank you.
You can see that we have some sunshine. For you, it's a bit later in the evening, so also great gratitude that you wanted to speak at your time, because it's, of course, very like a big change. The idea of the KDB Collegetour is always that we have some questions, because we would love to meet the researcher behind, well, who is behind the research table. We're going to hear a great lecture on a post-war architect, Friedrich Saliban, but I have some questions first. I would love to know if you could recall maybe a specific time or a moment that you were introduced to his work, or that his ideology, or that something caught your attention from this architect. Do you know when this was?
Well, I know about Silaban like everybody else in the school for Indonesian kids. To know this name because it's associated with one of the most well-known architectural piece, monumental architectural piece, the Istiqlal Mosque. But that's the farthest that we know about him at the time, because his name is like a household name for everyone, but nobody ever really took a great length of to digging up information and to know and write about his other works and so on and so on, except from the one piece of book that produced by an architecture students back in 1989 or something. So it's published in limited edition, but it's circulated very limitedly until a group of Japanese students and professors came to my hometown to survey and to discuss and to take a look whatever that we have in terms of modern architecture in Indonesia. And then I happen to know that he also the architect lives in my hometown and lives not that far from where I used to live, and practically he's my neighbor. But I never really took my time to really visit his house because he already long gone at the time, and I was taking architectural lesson in another city. But I really had that chance when I visit the house and to meet the architect's sons in 2007. And we stumbled upon a very big pile of drawings and whatever he had in his office, his studio, in his house, and left untouched for so many years. And we got some ideas on how to explore them all, but it takes quite some time, no less than 5 years to catalog everything out, and another 5 years to study all the materials with the help of so many students at that time. So it was a long back from my memory lane about what we have already done, about to know his works and everything else. So yeah, pretty much about it until I decided to put everything on a book, which was published in 2017. Finally, yeah.
And you fell in love with his drawings when you saw them.
Yeah. I mean, it was like having a treasure box in front of me, and to finally get information for objects that have been architectural project that we have been questioning about, who designed it, how they designed it, how they built it, and things like that. So there's so many answers unlocked at that time. So it's pretty
Right.
amazing and pretty yeah, inspirational for many Indonesian architects.
And you've been focusing on him a long time, you said.
Yeah,
We'll hear about him more as you will
yeah.
discuss his oeuvre as well. I was also wondering, as a curator and archivist, what are the key challenges you face in preserving and promoting the architectural heritage in Indonesia?
Well,
This is
there's no
a
such thing
question,
as
but
institution that focusing on that. That's why we establish our own institution as acting like probably as a museum or want to be as a museum, as the archival center, just like the ones that we know the Netherlands have, like in the New Institute or something like that. But focusing only on Indonesian architects and anything related to architecture built by or in Indonesia. So that's why that's the finding of his archive, the Silaban's archive, and also researching about him opened up lots of others opportunity for us. So people begin to open up their collection, their information, giving to us, and we collaborate with so many other groups and communities and people to share a lot about a lot of things. So that's kind of like opportunity uh, uh, open up for us, for all of us, I think. Yeah.
well, to extend on that, I think your extensive experience in architecture and heritage preservation, I think
Mm-hmm.
what advice would you give to new architects and researchers looking to contribute to the documentation and appreciation of Indonesian or Southeast Asian heritage? If there are now
Well,
new
yeah.
researchers joining us, what would you say? What would
Mm.
your advice be?
Well, it's a good thing to open up for opportunities and to seek for opportunities between researchers, especially between Indonesia and the Netherlands. We have been focusing and exchanging information a lot about modern architects and the colonial past and things like that. But there's a lot of more good things in terms of research and heritage, shared heritage that have not been properly explored. There's a lot of things that just like what I did in 2008, 18, I think, because I have a research topic focusing on trying to list out architectural projects between 1945 until 1959 in Indonesia, where the period where Indonesian architects and engineers have been working together hand in hand and sometimes in competition with the Dutch architects who was practicing in Indonesia as well. That area is still pretty much underexplored in terms of the in comparison with the previous period, like in colonial late colonial years in Indonesia. There's also another of topics that is might be very challenging in the future and also very promising to make it to publish it as a book or exhibition or things like that.
Yeah. So both
Yeah,
maybe curating and publishing at the same time, so you get a more broader
of course,
attention.
yes,
It would be
yes,
amazing.
yes, exactly.
Great. Well, let's hope they or we do. I would love to give you the digital floor.
All right.